Shalom. First thing and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Achachodash. Double honors to the elder bishops and the apostles of the great millstone that rule well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. Noah's in his gospel broad, lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is another lesson through the Spirit, going into the usual weekly update or breakdown of the mark of the beast, which is Bible prophecy, which is a very important prophecy, very relevant to the times we're in, and it's very essential and predicated upon your salvation, whether you're going to get the hell up out of here or not. As some guys that call themselves Israelites and bishops and leaders and all this other shit, they don't really speak on this prophecy, but if you pay attention to them now, they're actually trying to swing back around and they're trying to subtly go into this breakdown, and they're trying to slowly integrate it into the prophecies now, or into their prophecy, because the brother did a video titled Nate is being cornered, so eventually he's gonna have to face this breakdown. But see, he's trying to do it without giving Great Millstone their respect and their apology and their salakia, because them niggas hate us and they're proud. And how can we give a bunch of bums, as they call us, praises for coming out with that word of the Heavenly Father? But the scriptures tell you that the word was given into the lowly, man, and the meek shall inherit the earth. So it was never about how great you dress, how pristine, or how erratic you may sound, because the Lord deal with the lowly, man. Okay, matter of fact, you go to the book of Isaiah, the 53rd chapter, and it goes into how Yahweh Shai was not desired among men, how he was wounded for our transgressions. So the same thing. And also it tells you that the prophets wore sackcloth, they wore rough garments, so it's not about what you look like, all right, but it's about the Spirit is dealing with you. But anyway, this is from the guy Ones That Can See, and he brings out some videos, even though he goes way off when it comes to trying to break down the scriptures, because we understand you Christians, you don't understand the scriptures, because the Spirit of the Lord is just clearly not dealing with you on a spiritual level at all. But anyway, he goes into it. This is a 20-minute video, which I'm not gonna play half of it, but it allows you to see the points that he can make, and it's a plain cut to the IUIC and any other Israelite that's not teaching this doctrine, this gospel correctly. Because how can people who the Lord is clearly not dealing with see this breakdown, but you people can't understand it? Now, yeah, he be all over the place, and sometimes he tiptoe around the point, but you can get to where he's mentioning. Okay, they may not come out and say, oh, well, it is the RFID chip, but they're giving you the whole circumference on how the system is going to be integrated and how the chip will play an important factor. It ain't embargo, it ain't Christianity, it ain't sleeping with white women or none of that other psychobabble that these other camps were teaching. Okay, so without further delay, I'm gonna play a couple of minutes of this video, because it says Sam's Club is going Black Mirror, which that shit is wild. Some brothers are not very fond of seasons. Well, I won't say fond, but they feel like past Black Mirror seasons were a little bit more in transit than this one, which give or take, I guess. But I need to go back and watch Black Mirror season 1. I haven't seen it, so I need to go back and watch it. But anyway, it says Sam's Club is going Black Mirror, remodeling 600 stores to embrace AI and eliminate cashiers. And they've been eliminating cashiers since the last 10 years or so. Going to these McDonald's and particular fast food restaurants and self-checkouts. That's all in tandem to do away with cashiers, because they're getting you mentally prepared, which is called gradualism, to accept a society that doesn't deal with cash transactions, man. All right, so without further delay, here we go.
Show every single time we hear a story like this.
Oh, and once again, fair use, fair use. I'm making no money from this video. All right, this is not for profiting or anything like this. This is just informing the audience that the mark of the beast prophecy is actual Bible prophecy, but I make no money. Fair use, fair use.
It needs to be covered, because every time a big chain, whether it's Sam's Club or in the future Walmart, Target, these big stores, every time we see them inch away from cash and force you into using digital payments only, we know that we're getting closer and closer to the finish line. Because remember, as the Bible tells us in the book of Revelation chapter 13, verses 16 through 18. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man...
Oh, did he just cut you, Nate? He just cut you. And it's not the thing that Nate don't know. It's just the fact that he sold out. Okay, Nate knows very well that Revelation 13:16 deals with the RFID chip. He knows, but he sold out. He took a bag. He sold out to the Edomite or to the Jews or whoever the fuck he working for. He sold out. All right, so he has a gag order that he can't teach this because the influence, right? Also, the fact that he despises Great Millstone, mainly the apostles, he looks down on us. So that's another reason why he ain't gonna come out and just straight up say it and give a formal apology. But if you pay attention over a course of time, what he will do is incorporate this. So don't be surprised that some time down the line, he may just flat out say, yeah, the RFID chip is the mark of the beast. Or he may kind of throw it in there because he's doing it now, you know, but don't expect him to give Great Millstone any type of flowers behind this. All right, don't expect that at all because he's not that kind of man. Him or his arrogant congregation, you know.
And might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. So, if you don't understand what we're headed towards, the mark of the beast has to do with only being able to buy and sell online, and eventually, when the phone goes inside of your body, which is the next step, you'll see the payments going from your hand to your forehead because...
Right, and that's kind of what IUIC was trying to break down. How the digital system, how Esau is going to collapse the economy. And eventually they're going to institute the mark of the beast, but they're not going to really go into buying and selling. You know, because they're forced to address that now. How can you buy and sell with sin? Now, what this guy said is on point, but he mentioned that you only can use it online when that's not true. Okay, you got, for one thing, they got kiosks, or when you go to like Amazon Go or certain Whole Foods, they already got the hand reader, the palm print, the palm scanner. You know, even in certain doctor's offices, you can scan your print of the palm of your hand, and then all your information will pull up on the screen right there. So it ain't just online, even though everything you essentially do is really online. Even when you go to Whole Foods and you buy, all the transactions is really online, all right? But there's a physical kiosk there that you can use, you know? But I get what he's saying, because Elon Musk did mention by like 2030 or some shit like that, that the technology will be inside you, is essentially under the skin surveillance. Okay, he did mention that the cell phones will be part of you, and that's part of the brain chip, man. Because now they got studies out there, Neuralink, that paraplegics and men that was paralyzed, or women, or whatever it may be, they're able to have gained motor functions through these artificial connections through brain waves by incorporating the mark inside them, man, which is part of those miracles that it goes to in Revelation 13 and 15 when it says he had power to do the sight of these miracles. He had power to perform these miracles in the sight of the beast. All right, that the roughly paraphrasing it, that the image of the beast should both speak, and is speaking now, and the image of the beast is actually going into the beliefs, the philosophies, the policies, is going into basically the system itself, man. You know, I'm looking for another word, not only policies and things like that, but it's a particular word. It goes into the culture, like the Greco-Roman culture, the Roman, because essentially this is the Greco-Roman Empire all over again. Remember, the Greeks and Romans merged, right? But basically it goes into the culture, everything around you, the belief systems, everything you see around you is part of the image. And then, you know, you got the beast, which is essentially NATO. Okay, then you got the 10 horns, which is the EU. And also you got Esau, Edom, okay, the scarlet colored beast. Because when you go into scarlet, it goes into like a red color, right? So you got this beast system. And then you got the mark, which is the RFID chip. Okay, which is going to be the interface behind how this whole AI shit operate through a bunch of computer algorithms, man. All right.
The Neuralink, the brain-computer interface, will be embedded in your skull via devices like the Neuralink. So watch how this transition happens. I want to thank Curtis over on the website for sharing this with me, and I want to thank everybody who is over on the website who is aware of these things, sharing this information with me, because Sam's Club is not a place that I regularly shop. I don't shop at too many places personally, but I don't have a Sam's Club near me. I'm familiar with Sam's Club, and every time you hear these things, we need to share this information, right? So Sam's Club is going Black Mirror, remodeling 600 stores to embrace AI and eliminate cashiers. They are eliminating cashiers, and they're using artificial intelligence so that you can walk up to a product in the store that you want and you scan it on.
And remember, it was something called Stargate. Stargate, I believe, which they put 500 billion into. That's why they're doing this. Hey, the money has already been approved. That's why, like he said, I think he said fucking 600 retail stores of Sam's Club, which Sam's Club is nothing more but a derivative or a sister store to Walmart. It's just more of a wholesale store where you can buy in bulk, you know. But basically 600 stores, because they're rolling out this technology, man. All right. Amazon is already up incorporated with it. Fucking Whole Foods, which Whole Foods and Amazon's got they got contracts with one another, because like when you go to Amazon online and you want to buy like certain things, they got contracts to set up kiosk lockers that you can send your package, and you go there and you put a code in and it'll open up the locker and you can get your package. Now it may be a little bit more sophisticated. They may actually have a palm reader that you can do that shit. So this is very well a real ordeal, and we're rapidly increasing into it. Okay? So quick quote, this is Isaiah 42:9. It says, "Behold, the former things have come to pass, and new things do I declare." And this is a new thing here. Okay? Because this is what John the Revelator saw on the island of Patmos, man. When the Lord gave him the visions through the angel, he saw this system being incorporated. He saw people in the system being chipped. So the Lord took him 1900 years into the future to this very time we're in, and he saw people getting this mark, and he saw people being beheaded for not taking the mark, man. Okay? Because there's going to be a group of people that don't take the mark. And first and foremost, that group of people will be the elect. Okay? Because we're told to not bow down to this system. And we're not going to bow down to the system. Lord's will, his spirit rests upon us to resist, which is the hour of temptation. All right? And it says, before they spring forth, I tell you of them, because ultimately, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai is the ultimate prophet, man. Okay? And he gives his, like, hey, it tells us Revelation 19:10 that the spirit of Yahweh Shai is the spirit of prophecy. So that's what we to do. We're speaking on these things. And they're coming to pass. And this is why, hey, the whole Doge cuts, the whole duping of the dollar, the whole fucking trade war, all this shit, the economic downturn is all being used systematically to bring in this prophecy. Because when it's push comes to shove, the new currency, the CBDCs, will be in the form of the RFID microchip, because your currency will be embedded into those chips. Okay, and your CBDCs, which stands for central bank digital currencies, will be embedded in the microchip. They will be called central bank digital currencies, because physical cash will be phased out here in a little while. All right. Isaiah 48:6, it says, "Thou hast heard, see all this, will ye not declare it? And we are declaring it. And thou hast shown thee new things from this time, even hidden things, and thou dost not know them." Okay. So we're declaring new things, man. Even though this prophecy has been around for 2,000 years, but the understanding is current, because the elders and the apostles of the great millstone was the ones that the Lord gave the understanding to break this thing down. You know, IUIC wasn't breaking it down. What's the name of that other group? ISUPK, Zabak, they're not breaking it down. You know, so they're not declaring the new things, because they don't see it, or either if they do see it, they're not pushing it, man. You know,
on your phone, and then you are able to walk out of the store without going to a register, without using cash. AI will monitor and track what's in your cart through surveillance as you exit the store. And you might be saying to yourself, well, what if you don't have a phone? Well, if you don't...
Well, they was doing that too back in 2018, and when they was advertising Amazon Go. It was a guy in there, and basically the security guard was watching him as he was putting things in his cart, and then he walked right out of the cart, and then the security ran up to him like he was shoplifting. He was like, sir, you forgot something. Yeah, they was promoting that stuff then, man. So they've been trying to program people to be in the mindset of it. And these people are so on edge to the point they will receive it because they don't know not to. You know, and these people, Americans don't have no integrity. I mean, they'll sell out at a whim just to keep going to a baseball game or to eat Oscar Mayer wiener hot dogs and shit. They would sell out just to get a monthly voucher to pay rent or just to keep McDonald's in power. They would sell out for that. So it's nothing to get these people to accept that mark, man. Because most of them are going to accept it because things are going to be bad. And they're already afraid of losing they are afraid of losing the little bit that they don't have, or the little bit that they are losing, or if that make any sense. They're afraid to lose the little bit that they have left, which they gonna take that shit from you any goddamn way. You know, fuck wants to be stuck with a goddamn car note for 5 years and sell out just to, you people are stupid. You know,
have a phone, then you won't be able to buy or sell, because you won't be able to trade freely. They won't allow you to. And the more we see them push towards this, the more they're going to set this in place where everybody is used to a society without cash. And then they just look at you and they go, well, just go get a phone then. Go get a phone. Go.
Yeah, it's called gradualism, man. Okay?
Get a mark of the beast eventually inside of your body if you're going to want to buy and sell. They're giving you the option, you might as well take it. You know, you want to be able to buy or sell at Sam's, then you got to have a phone and eventually the mark. And if you don't want to buy or sell at Sam's, well, then you're going to have to figure out a way to survive off grid. And it's going to be hard for you to farm and do these things on your own because, of course, we know the government is using geoengineering to block out the sun and forcing people to use Monsanto dirt and everything else we know that they're doing to make it as difficult as possible.
Also, they're destroying the crops with this cloud seeding shit, man. You know, that's why the trees are dying off, man. All the chemicals and the haze you see in the air, that's all geoengineering, and it's destroying the trees. Literally, they said we're breathing in like 20 billion gigaton or 20 billion BTUs of fucking chemicals and metals, man. Every breath you take, you're breathing that shit in. And it's killing you. It's very toxic to the body. It's a slow death. This is why people develop respiratory lung syndrome and all that other craziness, man, because ultimately they're breathing in these metals, man. Barium oxide, cadmium, all this shit that we're breathing in. You know, that's why out there rain, you see a bunch of haze and a bunch of what appears to be dirt and red dirt on your fucking vehicle, because it's literally the shit you're spraying in the air. You know, and stupid people, they're not even lying about it. They don't even give a fuck. So it's gonna be easy for these niggas to take the RFID chip. You know?
For people to fend for themselves. So the choice will be yours. Eternity in damnation, seeking death and not being able to find it, or coming out of the beast system. So let me play for you this clip about the Sam's. Listen to the sheeple there who talk about, hey, you know, some people out there aren't going to be able to buy anymore at the store, right? They don't seem to care too much about how the government is forcing people out of being able to buy or sell unless they move forward with their technology, which again, eventually will be brain-computer interface inside your body. Here's a look at what's happening at Sam's.
I'm Tony Jaramillo, your neighborhood news reporter on the South Side. Long lines. Some of us have experienced them here at Sam's Club. Now the multi-billion-dollar company is set to attempt to streamline the process of checking out. But is everyone on board? Very soon, checkout lines will be a thing of the past at Sam's Clubs all across the country. The stores, including the one in Corpus Christi, will only welcome Scan and Go, which the company says brings a long-term vision to redefine the club model and set a new standard in retail.
Personally, I think people will be out of jobs, but I use Scan and Go as it is anyways. Cash has become obsolete anyways.
Walmart, which owns Sam's, says the new policy will follow the pioneer store of the concept in Grapevine, Texas. I asked these shoppers how they think this would affect those not as tech savvy.
Probably the biggest concern really is because older people, they're not really up to date on modern technology.
It will be better to have a mix. I mean, the checkout and also the self-checkout application.
The change would also mean no more receipt checkers, meaning AI will identify the products.
It does this largely through image classification. A banana looks like a banana, a Coke can looks like a Coke can, and it'll look for that, and it'll observe it, and it'll recognize it, and it'll charge you for that.
Business analytics professor Dr. Nikki Changchit says she imagines this will not necessarily create job loss, but create an opportunity for employees to help customers until they get the hang of it.
So I think it is very important to educate and train the employees so that they can also help the customer adapting to these technologies.
Experts say this technology could continue to spread across retail as stores embrace AI and automation. I reached out to Sam's Club to see when this change would take effect, but did not immediately hear back. On the South Side, I'm your neighborhood news reporter, Tony Jaramillo, Chris 6 News.
So that should.
So there you go, right there, man. I mean, they rapidly doing it, and it's coming quick. All right. Daniel 12, and I'm started verses 4. It says, But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end, that it may run to and fro. To and fro is here and there, right? And it says, and it says, and knowledge should be increased, and to and fro through the internet, man. Like, we're on the internet right now, and we're getting the understanding of this word, man, or of this understanding. To and fro. So there you go, man. You can't really deny it at this point. Knowledge should be increased. Everybody is hip to AI. Everybody's with the smartphones and all this other stuff. You know, things are increasing. All right. One more precept and I'm going to end it because, like we mentioned, they do it through gradualism. And there's going to come a time that if you don't take it, then, hey, you're going to be out of there, man. It tells us in Revelation, the 20th chapter. Matter of fact, let's do this. I was going to get 2nd Ezra 16, but let's go this route since I made mention of it. Let's go Revelation. Not Malachi, Revelation. Revelation 3. And I'm going to start at verses 10. It says, Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. Okay. And that's the introduction of the mark of the beast. It says, Behold, I come quickly, and hold fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown. And it's talking about to this truth, your faith. Him that overcometh will I make a pillar in the temple of my power, and he should go no more out. And I will write upon him the name of my power, and the name of the city of my power, which is New Jerusalem, which cometh down out of heaven from my power. And I will write upon him my new name, which that means renewed. Okay, so with that, all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, was will you edify to the next lesson. Shalom.